90, Holy Ghost filled you with Sunganikate. I live the high life cause I'm heavenly minded. Hold up, I'm a 90s baby. So really, you made me walk up to you and you don't subscribe to the channel? Make sure you hit the subscribe button, like the video and share it with someone. I know you will. Righteous like so wicked, righteous like no wicked. You righteous like so wicked, righteous like no. Well, Emmanuel J. Banda's mother has decided to address the media. I'm sure you should have seen the article already on this particular platform. So a couple of hours ago, she did a live stream where she was addressing the nation and particularly the government. And she had a lot to say. She ended up even crying. So she says, part of the extract in that video she did, take me in and bring back my son, cries J.J. Banda's mother. Peter Central Member of Parliament, Emmanuel J.J. Banda's mother, Grace, says she is ready to be arrested on behalf of her son, provided that government brings him back alive. Our sentiments had people wondering, as today marks a month since Banda escaped from Chipata Central Hospital, where he was taken ill on 1st August. So it's been a month since J.J. Banda went missing. So his mother addressed the nation. She was saying, take her in and bring back J.J. Banda. But what's dominating the news is that book right there with that lady, Dora, Siliya. No, you gotta give her the props that she needs. I mean, the fact you can see her education and media training in this particular, the way she's marketing this book. Like literally, it's one of those books that you like bombshells. Like she name drops literally. If people are assumed a scandal or anything about her, she drops it in that book. She names people that are still alive. So people are catching stress in this book. But anyway, you can see news diggers also say Doraslia's book sold out. It seems there is Mulomo Pro Max. Frank Mutubida still recovering. Admin eager to read chapter on RB and ECL. So everybody wants to take a picture with Doraslia. She's been trending pretty much from the time that book was dropped. Should have been on Saturday or Friday or thereabout. And this is like Thursday. And she's dominating the news cycle. President Hakainde Hichilema is in China. That is not taking center stage. Rafael Nakachinda was arrested yesterday. That's just like a by the way. Like everything that is happening in the nation seems to be a by the way. But extracts from a book. Everyone that has bought the book is taking pictures and putting up articles of what they feel. Let me just show you what's going on with what Doraslia is sharing in that book. So part of the thing, she said, President's office again. I had not been aware that about Emmanuel JJ's attack on Central Police Station in Lusaka a few days before, until I was waiting to enter the President's office. I think I had isolated myself to study. It was told to me by Freedom Skazwe, who seemed quite disgusted with the whole episode. As I entered the president's office, Boma Lusambo was just leaving. Find out a conversation where she markets a book. So pretty much she shares her experience with JJ Banda. That allegation that JJ Banda has on him to say he had allegedly gone to Central Police Station and beat up some police officers there. So that's what she was referring to in that particular. And she mentions Freedom Skazwe, probably one of Edgar Lungu's favorite ministers, the one that he was referred to as the smiling minister. That's Freedom Skazwe there. And then obviously she goes further to share about JJ Banda. That's the individual that you see on the left there, and then with Edgar Lungu's experience. And then this is what she said. Dorasly, as a flamboyant former minister, this was according to Dixon Jail, has opened up on events that led to the loss of to a rival, Emmanuel J.J. Banda in Petauke parliamentary elections in 2021, and the eventual defeat of the Patriotic Front. She named names. Yes, as I said, like in this book, she didn't leave it open like no a person of this person. If there's a person to be named, she just names them. And these people are still alive. So I mean, people are saying no, she's going to be sued. Anyway, I'll show you all that later on. But anyway, what this person says, she names names in a blockbuster book, which was released last week. And chief among these figured is former President Edgar Lungu and his state aides and a well-known business person that is Finley. These were strange. I mean, these were strange days. She writes in her book, "Minding My Father's Country." How could we expect to win an election in the province? She means Eastern Province, with the alleged thug using Edgar Lungu's foundation as name as his brand? She asked, referring to JJ Banda, who had been elected as a PF provincial youth chairperson. That's a view on JJ Banda. She disclosed that she once approached President Lungu and asked him about it, but he gave what seemed to be what she termed as an satisfactory response. Once during the cabinet tea break, he announced to everyone that I was accusing him, meaning President Edgar Lungu, of sponsoring JJ Banda when he had nothing to do with it. Siliya says on page 433 of Thriller, if he could not discipline someone whom everybody called a thug, and even allowed him to use his foundation's name, and he could not see anything wrong with that, then clearly I had missed my opportunity to leave. She expressed a regret. So she says she could have resigned there and then, but she didn't. She rode with the PF until the end, probably for her own benefit. There, politicians, hindsight, they say. She disclosed having confronted the president on the Central Police violence that was linked to JJ Banda, and president expressed concern too. And yeah, I rubbed it. I mean, I rubbed it in, and I said an attack on the police was an attack on his symbol of authority, and sent a message that he was weak. She writes in the candid memo, adding that ministers of Home Affairs then was also close to JJ. So she alleges to say why JJ Banda was not arrested for that particular incident was because he was close to Edgar Lungu and alleged the Minister of Home Affairs at the time. And then the president immediately called the Inspector General of Police, Kakoma Kanganja, asking him why the thug had not been arrested. The former MP minister further disclosed, meaning Dora Siliya. Dora says PF Secretary General Davis Mwira was an ally and also concerned with the activities of JJ. So she writes in that particular book. So she says every now and then she brought it up, but where you see her coming out strong is because she clearly saw that JJ Banda was a threat to her as a member of parliament in Petauke, which is a fact. She beat her by a landslide. So everything else that she mentioned earlier on that she said she could not present to the president, this particular issue, she brought it up because she herself was at threat of losing a seat. So you can see if it benefits an individual, they're loud about it. Another person that seems to be trending from her book is Frank Mutubira. She named him, says her parents had warned of him to say once you go to ZNBC, stay away from him and stuff like that. So that's one of the extracts that was trending. And then people are advising Frank Mutubira to say he should sue her for naming him in that regard, because he's now doing damage control for himself to say those allegations that she put up there. But then again, right when the people are advocating for Frank to sue Dora, they put up a video. I mean, she's doing a bad marketing on this particular book. They were together, her singing for Frank Mutubira. I know you gotta give her that she's doing bad marketing on that book. I mean, and it's selling out. It is selling out. And then obviously she shares a story with regard to the COVID-19 issue there. But yeah, Dora's there is trending. And then part of the extracts in her book also, she hasn't left anything hanging because marriage was an issue. And then she addressed it. And then Dixon J also put up an article, an extract from her book where she addresses the issue of her marriage and how it played out. So Dixon said, yes, marriage is hard. Siliya, booked from Minister Dora Siliya. Opens up about failed marriage and speaks about it candidly in a recent released blockbuster. Everybody wants to associate with this book. Congratulations to her. You gotta give her. So marriage is hard indeed. It's hard work indeed. The wedding itself was lovely. I felt beautiful and unique as a bride, and afterwards, very proud as a wife, as a new wife. In fact, I wanted to be a good wife and intended to keep my promise until death do us part. But I also believe that we were dealt a bad hand as a young couple, as we were both so much on our we had so much on our shoulders. We were both both had siblings responsibilities as the eldest in our families, and we were probably put that ahead of our marriage. We were only a day apart in age, and I'm glad that we both moved on well. She says, I did fall pregnant in 2000, and soon after the wedding, but had a miscarriage. I think work and the wedding stress contributed to this. At a young age, you need support. Then something like this happens. Yet we never told anyone for a while, and soon after, all hell broke loose. I was young bride with a new job and starting to feel that marriage was definitely a mistake. In the end, the marriage only lasted basically 2 years, and only officially made it until March 2004. But I can tell you exactly when it actually finished. In my mind, for me, was 26th November 2000. 2 years, 2 months after the wedding. So she simply says the marriage had ended 2 months after the wedding, according to her in her mind. But they only made it official 2 years after later on. So that's what she addressed everything. This book has got every version. It's got the political side, it's got a life. If you ever interacted with Dorothy the past, is it now almost 20 years, just know you should be in that book. Everybody's catching strays in this book. Oh yeah, and then also she shares an experience about Onara B. This is Suge Dixon J putting up extracts from her book. So I recall once President Rupia Banda had received a security report that I was usually at Particle, a club in the showgrounds until late. This was between 2009 and 2010. He asked the security guys if I went there alone, and the officers informed him that I was usually with other people and sometimes even with his press advisor, Dixon J, and Dixon's friend, James, who happens to be Pierre Banda's son. He then asked if I had been in any fight, and when they said no, he said he burst out in laughter, telling them that I was young and I had the right to enjoy my life. In fact, he went further and informed them that the reports, if the reports had been about him in his younger days, it would be probably read that he had got into fights because he took someone's girlfriend. So that's just the sharing experience. Everybody's mentioned in this book. Everybody's catching strays in here. Then obviously in the mass newspaper, I say there's no connection which will help anyone as we hammer untouchables. We do not care who you are or are connected to. Njovu. So there probably is the issue of corruption there. And Daily Nation says, do not dismiss UN report, Chief Fire. So different sides are giving different views about that UN report. It's still trending. I guess that's the news, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night or good morning, depending on where you're watching this from.